the statement and well, a barrage of questions or whatever. Professor Kwame is here to take those. Once more, you're welcome. As was said, we're a delegation of Nzuko Umunna. That is a pan-Igbo group whose members are individual professionals within Nigeria and diaspora, as well as members or leaders of most pan-Igbo associations and groups, who were sent to pay a visit to Nnamdi Kanu and his associates, currently in detention at the Kuje Prison, as part of a worldwide process on the peace and development of our Igbo and Nigeria. We visited to hear his own point of view, and we also shared our views with him. Our interactions with Nnamdi Kanu and his colleagues were frank and fruitful. That visit, as well as our concerns about the state of the Nigerian nation, have warranted this press conference. We speak as Nigerians on our behalf and on behalf of the tens of thousands of professionals in these various associations and groups. We believe that Nigeria has all the potentials to be great and one of the most prosperous nations on earth. Like most countries of the world, it has its own internal contradictions, challenges of national cohesion and development. Every country that has endured and prospered has devised a dynamic system for dealing with its internal contradictions. No country has prospered by suppressing legitimate agitations or democratic expression. Nigeria has greatly come short on these counts. Nigeria has never been more divided than now, with the agitation for self-determination becoming more stringent and desperate. Most discerning patriots have come to the conclusion that Nigeria, as currently structured and governed, is unsustainable and drifting to a failed state status. Since 2005, Nigeria has drifted from the rank of the 54th position in the Global Failed or Fragile States Index to the 17th position in 2014 and now to a dangerous 13th position in 2016, and is classified under what they call the red alert category of countries. Perhaps no one sums the sentiments better than the respected elder statesman Professor Abdullahi. This was reported on the 12th of February this year, when he asserts that, quote, Nigeria's project is not working. After 50 to 60 years, the Nigerian project is not working despite everything we went through. Constitutional conferences, the country is at a standstill. It is unfortunate we are still where we were more than 50 years after independence and have not been able to move away from where our colonial masters left us. End of quote. Our founding fathers and mothers, Nnamdi Kanu, Bafemi Awolowo, Bakatafa Balewa, Ahmadu Bello, Margaret Debo, and co, must be turning in their graves to hear this. While this might appear an extreme characterization, it sums up the dominant sentiment of people who believe in the urgency of a fundamentally re-engineered new Nigeria. It is our considered view that much of the increasingly desperate agitations are in response to the failures of a dysfunctional, looting elite and poor governance in the context of a failing state that offers increasingly vanishing opportunities and hope for its youth and future generations. We do not condone violence, criminality, or brigandage of any sort, and nor should any state do so. However, by failing or refusing to address the fundamental issues and instead concentrating on the symptoms, Nigeria runs the grave risk of turning the entire country into a large prison yard or a police state. Consequent upon the following, we demand as follows. First, that we note that in 2015, Nigerians voted for change based on a prospectus contained in the manifesto of the party that won the general election. That party is the All Progressive Congress, APC, which now controls the federal government and 23 out of 36 states of the federation. As the ruling party, the APC has a duty to deliver on its most fundamental contract with the Nigerian people, namely to restructure the Nigerian Federation. I may refer you to the APC manifesto, and I quote, it says, "As progressives, we believe that Nigeria is greater than any individual or the sum of our federative units. Therefore, the country can always succeed when all of us have equal rights, where no one is above the law, where the culture of impunity is abolished, and where there is a level playing field. As a change agent, ABC intends to cleanse our closet to halt the dangerous drift of Nigeria to a failed state, with a conscious plan for post-oil economy in Nigeria. To achieve this laudable program, APC government shall restructure the country, devolve power to the units with the best practices of federalism, and eliminate unintended paralysis of the center." End of quote. This is APC manifesto. So far, APC seems to have abandoned its cardinal contract with Nigeria. It is commendable that it is fighting corruption, fighting Boko Haram, and grappling with the deteriorating economy. However, it is our considered view that without dealing with several of the foundational issues of the Nigerian state in a post-oil economy, much of its efforts will, in the end, amount to tinkering at the edges. The current constitution of Nigeria was designed to consume the oil rent, and the system designed for consumption cannot suddenly become efficient for production in a post-oil world. But the task of rescuing and rebuilding a new Nigeria must be a multi-partisan and all-inclusive effort. There seems to be a national consensus that the current system cannot endure. The APC, PDP, ACTA, and other political parties, as well as all non-partisan actors and statesmen, must come together to save Nigeria. We are in a state of emergency at all levels. The National Council of States needs to be convened urgently, and our legislative houses at the national and state assemblies should wake up to the new realities of Nigeria. If the only thing the current administration succeeds in doing is to re-engineer a new Nigeria, agreed to by its constituent parts and citizens, it will have bettered a new country for the 21st century. Second, we know that the preoccupation with where the next president of Nigeria will come from is an unnecessary distraction from the crisis at the moment and the urgency of erecting enduring pillars for a peaceful and prosperous country. We demand for a fairer and equitable system where it will no longer matter where the president or officers come from. We want a country where there are growing opportunities for our youth, for the youth, and future generations to live in peace and prosper. The next, we demand for the urgent release of Nnamdi Kanu, his colleagues, and all prisoners of conscience as part of the process of the search for national cohesion and building a new Nigeria. There is a legitimate debate among Nigerians on the Biafra question. And there are indeed many Igbos who, like many other Nigerians, may not agree with the Nnamdi Kanu's objectives or means. But it needs to be stated, however, that no citizen of Nigeria deserves the kind of treatment that is meted to Nnamdi Kanu and his colleagues. Government has declined to obey the orders of properly constituted courts in Nigeria for his release. Nnamdi Kanu is not above the law, but nor should he be put beneath it. A situation where the state refuses to obey clear and legitimate court orders for his release and even one of them outrightly ordered for his unconditional release. There is absolutely no reason in a country with a rule of law that he should have been held an hour later than those court orders or even rulings of the court that he should be released unconditionally. Why is Nnamdi Kanu's case an exception? And so we note that a situation where the state refuses to obey clear and legitimate court orders for his release and holds him until it gets a favorable order, and then continues to move the goalposts endlessly through endless amendments of the charges against him, and now seek to try him in secret, clearly constitutes circumstances that will fall well short of the constitutional guarantees of due process. This also will raise questions about our country's adherence to human rights, the rule of law, and transparent judicial process. We worry there is now a clear design to place Nnamdi Kanu and his group beneath the law and basic constitutional guarantees in the country and the basic constitutional guarantees of due process.